Next is changes in demand. Okay, so for changes in demand, okay, shift in the demand curve. Okay, either shift to the right or shift to the left. Okay, from D0 to D1, shift to the right. Okay, shift to the left. D1 to D0. Okay, kalau right, D0 to D1, left, D1 to D0. Okay, occurs when there are changes in other factors but price of the good itself remain constant. Okay, apa maksud dia? Bila berlakunya perubahan dalam other factors, maksudnya selain daripada harga barang tu sendirilah. Okay, what other factors? Factorsnya tadi lah. Yang ni. Consumers income, taste and preference, expectation of future price, number of values, semua tu lah. Okay, and price dia constant. Okay, price constant, price tak berubah. Price constant. Okay, price constant. Yang menunjukkan dia bergerak ke kanan adalah kanan or kiri changes in other factors. So if the non-price factor result to increase in demand, so it shift to the right lah, demand curve shift to the right. If the non-price factor result to decrease in demand, demand curve shift to the left. Okay. Okay, apa maksud dia? Okay, changes of demanded. Okay, ini yang tadi lah. Okay. Saya tak perlu explain lagi macam mana dia bergerak move upward or downward. Itu adalah disebabkan oleh faktor harga. Okay, price itself. Okay, changes in demand. Okay, ini lah. For consumers income, okay, if the consumer income increase, more goods will be demanded, hence will shift the demand curve outward or vice versa lah. Okay, consumers income. So for consumers income, kita tahu kan, consumers income, bila kita ada banyak income, kita akan lagi membeli, betul tak? So when consumers income increases, okay, when consumers income increases, demand for good will increase. So demand curve shift to the right. So from D0 to D1. Okay. But when consumers income decreases, okay, sebaliknya lah. When consumer income decreases, bila consumer income berkurang pula. So when consumers income decreases, demand for good and service will decrease. Demand curve shift to the left from D1 to D0. Okay, taste and preference. If the product is not desired anymore, atau outdated product, it will be less demanded by the consumer, so hence will shift the demand curve inward. Or vice versa lah. Okay, if the product are outdated, okay, kalau produk tu outdated, contohnya ada lagi tak orang pakai CD, ada lagi tak orang pakai disket. Kenapa tak disket? Function macam pen drive dulu zaman dulu lah yang petak tu. Sekarang tak ada orang dah pakai itu. So ada tak permintaan untuk barang macam tu? Tak ada. Okay, so if the products are outdated, dia based on the fashion lah. Okay. If the products are outdated, so demand for that good will decrease. Demand curve shift to the left. But if the products are up to date, kalau barang tu jenis up to date, semua pakai sekarang, so demand for that good will increase. Demand curve shift to the right. Okay. Sebab demand bertambah kan, semua ke kanan lah. Demand berkurang, semua ke kiri. Okay, expectation of future price. If the price of the product is expected to increase in the future, the consumer will buy the product now in order to avoid the future high price. Hence, will shift the demand curve outward or vice versa lah. Okay. Contohnya, kalau kita expect, contohnya lah, if the buyer expect that the price of sugar will increase for the next month, so demand for sugar this month will increase lah. Kalau buyer rasa, contohnya lah, bulan depan harga gula mungkin akan naik lah. So kita as a buyer, kita nak beli murah, so kita akan beli this month, betul tak? So demand for sugar will increase. So demand curve shift to the right. Next, number of buyers. Number of buyers or population. Okay. Ada dalam textbook of buyers, ada juga population. Okay. If the number of buyer increase, more product will be demanded. Hence, will shift the demand curve outward lah. Okay. If the number of buyer increases, demand of good will increase. Demand curve shift to the right from D0 to D1. Okay. Itu normal lah kan. Bila ramai pembeli, ramai lah yang akan demand barang. Okay. Yang beli barang. So, demand curve shift to the right. Sebab berlaku pertambahan dalam demand. Advertisement. If the product is being advertised regularly, it will be well known and more product will be demanded. Hence, will shift the demand curve outwards. Ini adalah pengaruh daripada pengiklanan lah ni. Kan, mesti permintaan akan meningkat. Kan? Sekarang tengok semuanya orang buat marketing kau-kau kan. Sebab apa? Bila by using advertisement ni sebenarnya boleh market dia punya produk. Okay, so demand for that product will increase. So, demand curve shift to the right. Okay. Price of related good. Next point is price of related good. Okay, related good ada dua, complementary and substitute. What is mean by complementary? Complementary means the good is being used with another goods. Okay, yang the goods that must be used together lah. Okay, for example, ink and marker are used together, kan? A marker without ink will be useless. So the price of ink will be the price of related good for marker. Okay, macam ni. Nak senangnya, okay, contohnya. Okay, contohnya lah antara harga pen dengan ink. Okay, contohnya when price of pen increases, quantity demanded of pen will decrease. Ini kan law of demand. But demand for ink will decrease too lah. Sebab dia kan digunakan bersama-sama. Bila harga ini price itself. Okay, ini adalah price itself. Tapi antara pen dengan ink ini adalah price of complementary good. Bila harga pen berubah, banyak mana demand untuk ink akan berubah. Bila harga pen meningkat, quantity demand akan pen akan berkurang. Tak? Bila harga pen mahal, orang akan kurang beli pen. And at the same time, demand for ink juga akan berkurang. Sebabkan dia kan digunakan bersama-sama. Okay. So demand ink berkurang, demand curve shift to the left. Okay. Sebab demand berkurang, demand curve shift to the left. Substitute goods. Substitute means that the good is not used together. For example, pen and marker are substitute. So the price of pen will be the price of related good for marker. If the price of pen decrease, people will not purchase marker because marker is expensive and people will substitute marker with the cheaper pen. Hence, the quantity demand for marker will decrease. This will result to the shifting inward of demand curve. Okay, contoh sini tadi yang dalam kes ni marker and pen. Saya bagi contohnya air Milo. Air Milo mahal, minumlah air orange. Orange mahal, minumlah air Ribena. Air Ribena mahal, last sekali minumlah air kosong. Still air kan? Okay. Maksudnya barang yang boleh menggantikan barang yang lain. Okay, contohnya lah tea and coffee. Contohnya, when price of tea decreases, quantity demanded of tea will increase. Okay. Bila harga teh murah, orang akan beli banyak tea, betul tak? So demand for coffee will decrease. Bila harga teh murah, orang akan beli banyak teh lah. So demand untuk kopi akan berkurang. Maksudnya teh ni, bila harga dia murah, orang dah tak demand untuk kopi. Sebab dia dah murah. Okay. Sebab yang gantikan teh, kopi. Okay, so this is substitute goods. Okay, next is supply. What is meant by supply? Supply is defined as the ability and willingness to sell or produce a particular product and services in a given period of time at a particular price. Okay, when you have the ability or you have the willingness to sell, okay, ataupun produce a particular product at a particular price. So, sorry, saya tak mention tadi. So, bila kita belajar demand tadi, you assume you as a buyer. So, as a buyer, we want to buy the products at a lower price. But, bila kita belajar supply, you assume you as a seller. So, as a seller, what is your objective? As a seller or producer, we want to achieve a higher profit. Betul tak? So, bila harga barang tu boleh dijual mahal, kita akan lagi suka sebab kita akan dapat untung yang banyak. Betul tak? Contohnya, kalau you jadi dropship, you ada dua barang, barang A, barang B. Tahu kan konsep dropship, you tak perlu keluarkan modal, you perlu market je barang tu, and then you dapatlah untung sikit lah, dapatlah commission sikit. Contohnya, barang A modal dia 10, barang B modal dia 10 juga, RM10 juga. Tapi barang A jual dengan harga RM20, so awak dapat untung RM10. Barang B, awak boleh jual RM30. Daripada RM10 boleh jual RM30, so untung RM20. So masa tu you as a seller ni, you dropship, so you as a seller jugalah. So you nak jual barang mana lagi banyak? Of course barang B, sebab barang B dapat untung lagi banyak. So as a seller, you akan jual lagi banyak barang yang menguntungkan lah, ataupun barang yang harga dia lagi tinggi. So law of supply state that the higher the price of a good, the greater the quantity supply for that good, and the lower the price of good, the lower it is the quantity supply. Ceteris paribus. Okay, maksudnya ke sini, for law of supply, dia baliklah. Law of supply state that when price increases, quantity supply also increase. When price decreases, quantity supply also decrease. So it shows a positive relationship between price and quantity supply. So this is the how to draw supply curve. Okay, so based on this table, Okay, so you draw the vertical and horizontal line, then you buat skala lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quantity 2, 4, 6. Okay, ini yang senang je lah. So just plot. At RM5 quantity is 10. Okay, at RM5 quantity supply is 10. Sini kan. At RM4 quantity supply is 8. At RM3 quantity supply is 6. At RM2 quantity supply is 4. And last at RM1 quantity supply is 2. Then you combine all this point. Sorry ya, terkena mesti kena. So this is supply curve. It shows a positive slope. Okay, because when price decreases, quantity supply also decrease. Ataupun sebaliknya lah. When price increases, quantity supply also increase. So this is the differences between individual supply and market supply. Individual supply, it shows the relationship between the quantity of product supply by a single seller and its price. And market supply, the relationship between the total quantity of product supplied by adding all the quantity supplied by all sellers in the market and its price. So beza dia adalah individual supply ni by single seller lah. Okay, seorang yang jual. Kalau kita total up all the quantity supply tu by all suppliers, so itu adalah market supply. Okay, inilah contoh kita ada seller A, seller B. So how to calculate market supply? So just tambah je lah. Okay, so at RM5, market supply is 18. Ini 8 plus 7, 15. At RM3, 12. At RM2, 9. At RM1, 6. So how to plot market supply? Okay, look at this table lah. Okay, at RM5, so you draw first you draw the vertical and horizontal line by using your graph paper. Okay, then you buat skala. Okay, so at RM5, tengok sini je lah. At RM5, quantity supply is 18. Okay, RM5, 18. At RM4, quantity supply is 15. At RM3, quantity supply is 12. At RM2, quantity supply is 9. And at RM1, quantity supply is 1. Then combine all these points. So this is market supply curve. Okay, market supply curve. It shows a positive slope. Okay, so for determinants, kita akan tengok pada sempat lagi kot. Okay, first is determinants of supply. There are two factors, price factor and non-price factor. For price factor, price of the good itself. Okay, price factor, price of the good itself lah. How to explain? Okay, inilah ikut the law of supply dia. Law of supply state that when price increases, quantity supply also increase. When price decreases, quantity supply also decrease. Ceteris paribus. This will result in the movement along the supply curve. Okay, and non-price factors ada banyak lah factor beside price of the good itself. Selain pada faktor harga lah. Example, cost of production, technological advancement, expectation of future price, number of seller, government policies, price of related good. So this will result in the shifting of supply curve. So this explanation saya akan explain next video. Okay.